Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Shrimat Param Brahma Gurum Vadhami. Shrimat Param Brahma Gurum Bhajami. Shrimat Param Brahma Gurum Smarami. Shrimat Param Brahma Gurum Namami. Bowing to Shri Guru. Bowing to the Lord. Who wants to be our friend? Who wants to be very close to us? Who wants to be with us in the innermost chambers of our hearts? What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and grief to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Can we find a friend so faithful, who will all our sorrows share? Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in prayer. In the West, we hear of so many great stories of great friendship. We know, especially in Germany, Schiller and Goethe, the two poets, loved each other dearly. What a friendship. In Lord of the Rings, we hear of Sam and Frodo. What a friendship. One friend holding the other in all circumstances. And especially children hear so many sweet friendship stories, which is lovely. Winnie the Pooh with all his little friends, Snoopy as a friend, Garfield as a friend. So I can say I loved these stories when I was a child. And when I listened to them, I always had the desire to have Winnie the Pooh as my friend, or sometimes even Garfield as my friend, because he was so funny. But it never happened, only in my imagination. Now, the Lord is eager to be our friend. And in the West, we tend to forget that. Religion has become something that people are afraid of. If not afraid, then sometimes even disgusted, but not really attracted. In any case, It's about rules and things you are not allowed to do, seeing yourself as a sinner far away from God. And we miss stories that tell about true freedom in love with the Lord. We do not share them enough. Now, in India, there is a sacred tradition called Hari Katha. And Hari Katha means to listen to the stories of the Lord with his devotees. There are great scriptures depicting those stories, and they are recited in great halls up to this day. There are movies being made on that material, a lot for children, for adults, for everyone. And it is still a vibrant part of Indian culture. And we in the West, being gifted with that great gift of India already, the gift of yoga, let us be inquisitive and look into this great culture of Hari Katha as well. Listening to stories, sharing stories with each other that inspire us in our relationship with the divine. Because the divine is always with us. It does not matter with which relationship we have with the Lord or with Divine Mother. The divine is just present all the time. And in the divine, everything is integrated. Nowadays, it seems the West is falling apart. But when we connect to the Lord, to Divine Mother, everything is part of that reality, of that supreme absolute. And this is not only healing for our own hearts, helping us to let go of those traumatic experiences that kind of keep our inner life fragmented, but it also helps us in our interactions with the world to see everyone and everything in the Lord, in Divine Mother. And that comes by keeping our focus more and more on the Lord, on Divine Mother. Now, what could be sweeter than being friends with the Lord, friends with the divine? So today we will share some inspiring stories of a great saint of India who is very unknown in the West. And we will pray to him, Govinda Das, to his Gurudev, Goswami Vithalnath, to Vallabhacharya, to all the great devotees, those known and unknown to us. We pray to all of them, and ultimately we bow down to the Lord in devotion, offering this remembrance and glorification of his great saint at his lotus feet, asking for new images within, for new ideas, how our relationship with the divine, how beautiful it can be, how fulfilling, how joyful. Bolo Bhaktavatsal Bhagavan ki jai. Hari Sharanam, Hari Sharanam, Hari Sharanam. Govinda Das was formerly known as Govinda Swami. The Bhaktamala, that beautiful scripture describing the lives of so many great devotees of the Lord, in a commentary says, there was a devotee poet named Sri Govinda, whose character was as sublime as his name suggests. Now, this is amazing because Govinda is the name of the Lord himself, Sri Krishna, Govinda. Govinda means he who fills our senses with fulfillment. He who is the one looking after cows, another meaning. But we can take it for ourselves, Govinda, the one who just fills all our senses with beauty, with fulfillment. That is Sri Krishna, that is the Lord. And even if we do not feel so attracted to Krishna, the same concept goes in Christianity as well. Jesus is also the one who fills us with love, peace, joy, contentment. So the name was Govinda. And it is said, maybe because he had that name and he was called with the divine name, it is said in the Puranas how powerful that name of Govinda is, burning away all darkness in the heart. Govinda, 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 Radhe, Radhe, Govinda, Govinda, Radhe. So maybe because he heard that name all the time, the divine name, he was always, from his childhood, it is said, he was inquiring. He wanted to know how to be with the Lord, how to meet the Lord, how to really reach the Lord, how to become His. And he kept on wondering, thinking. Now, it is said at some point, we don't know too many details about his early life. He had some kind of revelation. We don't know how it happened, probably in deep prayer. And he realized the Lord whom I seek, the Lord of my heart, with that name, it was Krishna, of course. He lives in Braj. He lives in his eternal abode, where he took his avatar, where Krishna lived really 5,000 years ago. So Govinda Swami, he left everything behind, although he was quite wealthy, as it is said, and he just went to Vrindavan. Even today, when we come to Vrindavan, to Braj, to that area around Vrindavan, to Govardhan, etc., when we go there with an open heart and in humility, and we can be sure that Govinda Swami went in that mood, we can feel the divine presence. So Govinda Swami, he reached there and he felt, yes, yes, I came closer to my Lord. And he just kept on praying. He kept on repeating the divine name. That is what we all can do. As yogis in the West, we do not have to take any mantras that we do not know. We can just repeat any name of the Lord. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Or of Divine Mother. Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Mother Mary. And we will be guided by grace. So he prayed. He kept on repeating the divine name. He looked everywhere for hints, and he settled down near Govardhan in a little village, and he started composing poetry. just pouring out the longing of his heart, crying out for Krishna, to meet him, to be with him, to see him. And that poetry reached at some point a great bhakti master, a master of devotion to Sri Krishna, named Goswami Vithalnath. This Goswami Vithalnath was a direct disciple, we can say, but also son of none other than Jagat Guru Sri Vallabhacharya Mahaprabhu. Vallabhacharya was a great teacher who spread love for Sri Krishna like wild flames. He is believed to be an incarnation of the divine who came here on this earth with a divine mission to spread devotion to Sri Krishna. And at some point, we might hear about him some other time, but at some point in his life, he had a vision of the Lord who came to him and said, I know you love me so much and you want to be detached, but I want you to marry and I will come as your son. So he had two prominent sons. They were both very divine. Many say they were like Amshas, like Krishna and Balaram again in human form on this earth. And one of these two sons was Sri Vithalnath, who was living in Vrindavan, in Braj, in the area around Vrindavan. During the time Govinda Swami came there and just cried out to the Lord with his poetry. Now, when Vithalnath heard the poems of Govinda Swami being recited to him, he kind of opened his eyes. He said, that is nice. That is nice. And we can imagine his standard with his father being that great acharya, that great teacher of devotion. He himself following in the footsteps of his father, completely immersed in love for Sri Krishna. He gave his approval of the poetry of Govinda Swami. He said, that is nice. Now we feel, when we hear this, that by the grace of Sri Krishna, that connection was established. And a little later, Govinda Swami himself, being eager to find Sri Krishna, he participated in different satsangs, meeting with saints, meeting with other sadhus, with other seekers. And at some point he heard, if you want to find Sri Krishna, don't just sit here. Sri Krishna is not just roaming around here. Sri Krishna is not free anymore. Sri Krishna, even in Braj, even in his divine abode, he is completely under the control of Vithalnath Ji. So if you want to find Sri Krishna, go to him. Govinda Swami heard this and it penetrated into the depth of his soul. He heard that name, that image came to his mind, and he was convinced inside, I have to meet him. I have to meet Vithalnath. I don't know who he is, but that thought itself satisfies me. So he went, and it is described, he went at an maybe little difficult moment, putting a few obstacles in his own way, because when he approached Vithalnath, that great saint who was immersed in love for Sri Krishna, he saw him performing dry rituals, as he perceived it, that were not really established to increase devotion for the Lord. Still then, Vithalnath performed them. And when Govinda Swami came closer, he thought to himself, what is this? This is so boring. Everyone does that. It's like ABC of spirituality. Everyone knows that this is not the way to develop love for the divine. This is just to get something out of, you know, get something in this world or to reach some prestige or to be accepted in society. Why does he do that? He became critical in his mind. Still then, by the grace of the Lord, he accepted Vittalnath as his guru. And Vittalnath, when he saw Govinda Swami for the first time, he said, there you are, coming back to me after such a long time. And he just smiled. And Govinda Swami said, what? I never met you? He didn't even dare to say it, just in his mind. I never met him. What is this? But he felt in his heart something awakening. So it is said, when Vittalnath, that great saint of the Vallabha tradition, when he gave initiation to Govinda Swami, in that moment of divine touch, Govinda Swami realized Sri Krishna in his heart. And he entered into the eternal pastimes of the Lord that are enacted, the saints tell us, in Braj up to this day. He just perceived all of this in his heart. Now we have no idea what that means really, but when we listen to the stories that follow, by the grace of Sri Krishna and Govinda Swami, we can feel how sweet it is to be so intimate with the Lord. Now, in initiation, the name was changed, usually. But because Govinda Swami had this beautiful name of Govinda already, his guru just told him, you keep that name, so sweet, but you're not Swami anymore. You are Das. Swami means master, Das means servant. So Govinda Swami became known as Govinda Das, and throughout his life he loved that name, Govinda Das. Saints tell us at some point some old servants of his, because it really seemed he was quite wealthy. Some old servants of his came from the town he had lived before, and they reached, searching for their master. And when they found him, completely changed and dedicated to a new life, they asked him, Are you, are you Govinda Swami? You look very much alike, but you are so different. And he said, No, I'm not Govinda Swami anymore. Govinda Swami has died. But it cannot be. Your voice is even the same. I'm Govinda Das. He was proud of that. I'm the servant of the Lord. I'm the servant of the Lord because before I was my own master, I was unhappy. Now I'm a servant of the Lord. And I'm so fulfilled. So don't call me by that old name anymore. So there are so many divine, inspiring stories about Govinda Das. He eventually became very close with his guru. They had really a divine love for each other. In the conception of divinity, according to the Vedic thought, they were eternal consorts before, and they came to this world to make visible for us human beings how close we can be to the divine. So their love was eternal, their friendship was eternal. But what we want to focus on really is also their friendship, but especially the friendship of Govinda Swami, who now is Govinda Das, with his Lord Sri Krishna. Now, in that tradition, the Lord that they adored, he is called Srinath, Srinath Ji. It is a form of Sri Krishna. Now, Guru and disciple, they were both kind of helping each other, serving that deity form of Sri Krishna near Govardhan with so much love. And in this seva, in this divine service that they spent the rest of their life in, so many amazing, miraculous stories happened. And we pray to Govinda Swami, to his Gurudev, to all the saints, to the Lord, that they may inspire us. Now, what happened exactly? We have to imagine there was this sweet temple, and they both, with others, were just constantly engaged in thinking about how to please Sri Krishna in that deity form in the temple. So for them, Sri Krishna, as a reciprocation, became alive, sometimes in the form of that deity actually, moving, breathing, talking, sometimes as a separate entity, running around as Sri Krishna himself in his original, pure, transcendental form that is described in the Bhagavatam and in so many divine scriptures. That is all attractive. With his lotus feet that have special marks on them to attract all the devotees, to purify us just by thinking of them. With sweet little ankle bells, with soft skin all over his body. Shyama Sundara, dark skin, very soft skin, emanating a fragrance that intoxicates all his devotees. A beautiful yellow garment around his waist, with beautiful decorations on his chest, flower garlands of different kinds. His arms adorned by his devotees. His face, pinnacle of all beauty. His smile, so sweet. His hair, his curly locks black, moving in the wind, decorated with flowers and minerals from the forests. That's Sri Krishna, with his extremely attractive form, sometimes also manifested. Now, how did they interact? Oh, Sri Krishna, please help us to see this within in our hearts. One time, the devotees tell us the Guru was very joyfully decorating the deity in the temple, that deity of Sri Krishna, Srinath Ji. So much love, new dress, flower garlands, divine fragrance and paste to put on the body of the deity. Everything in that feeling, it is really Krishna. Making a turban on the head, so much of dedication. And Krishna, while the guru was decorating him, was listening to hymns being sung by Govinda Das. So the guru and disciple, they were kind of together, completely concentrated on Sri Krishna, giving pleasure to him, being close to him in their minds and hearts. And all of a sudden, Sri Krishna, from the deity, he started moving, but only for Govinda Das in that case. So he took something, some say he took some little stone from the floor, others say he took even a jewel that was kind of part of his decoration. And Krishna took that and threw it at Govinda Das. And Govinda Das was singing with so much of love. He Shyama Sundara, He Radha Vallabha, He Govinda Gopinatha, He Radha Vallabha. So much of love, different names of Krishna, different attributes of Krishna were being praised. And all of a sudden, ow! And the guru turned around. What? Behave. The whole mood being so surcharged with devotion. And Govinda does, ow! Now it happened again a few times. And Govinda Das at first, he did not realize really what was going on. But then he understood that this was Krishna. And here we see this is beyond all formalities. It was just an exchange of their friendship. So he saw Krishna had thrown something at him. Now he picked the same object up and he threw it at Sri Krishna. Now some say he hit his guru with that, which is like the greatest offense in Vedic tradition that you can think of, to hurt the guru in any way. Now, others say he kind of hit Krishna, but Krishna probably he moved so that nothing would hit him. In any case, this was their loving exchange. And whenever Vittal Nathji, many they call him out of reverence, not by that name, but with the title Gosai, when he realized what was going on between the two, he just became ecstatic. I'm so happy to have such a disciple like Govinda Das, who is so close to my beloved Lord. Now you can imagine what kind of fun they had. What else happened? Another time, Govinda Das himself was engaged in decorating the deity in the temple. And Krishna started talking to him. And he said, I want my turban to be really nice today. You have to imagine the Lord talking to him. And he said, well, all right, I will do it. No, he looked at the turban that was already on the head of the deity, and he did not find something to put the turban together, to fix it on the head. Usually there was a very precious kind of little thing to stitch it together with jewels on it, and he did not find it. Now he became a little anxious. He became a little emotional. Oh my God. Oh Lord, did I lose it? What did I do? Because he was engaged in decorating the deity. Now later that day, Krishna told him laughingly, I took it. I took it. I wanted to see you caring for me, really, with all your being. Thank you so much. Was nice. So then also it is said that Govinda Das, he also became angry with Krishna regularly. Another time, Govinda Das was singing And there are different leelas connected to singing. One time, it is said, Krishna kind of manifested and stood next to Govinda Das and sang with him. Now you can imagine like two friends standing next to each other, but actually Govinda Das is called to sing to that Krishna. Now Krishna is standing next to him, also singing to himself with his friend Govinda Das. And he would make fun of him and he would sing the wrong notes. And Govinda Das would become angry at him. Stop it, stop it. And others would just hear Govinda Das talking into nothingness because there was no one for them visible. They did not perceive Sri Krishna as Govinda Das did. So sometimes he would rebuke him, sing properly. And when people heard, oh my God, he's singing with the Lord together, they would come to Govinda Das and ask him, how does the Lord sing? And Govinda Das would just say, oh, don't ask about it. It's not so nice. No, that Lord who is praised as being on the throne and all the divine beings and angels around him praising him. He is the origin of that cosmic harmony of sound. And Govinda Das said, no, his voice is okay, but he sings in a way you don't want to hear it. No, some other time, Krishna really sang properly, very sweet, very melodious. And Govinda Das was standing there, nice, this is proper. So then it is said that Radharani came in a spiritual body as well, only visible for the saint. And when Krishna saw her, he changed his whole demeanor, standing properly and singing nicely. And Govinda Das kind of made fun of him. Who is that? It's your beloved. So sweet. And then Radharani, from a little distance, she started clapping and making different sounds to give the rhythm to the singing of Sri Krishna. And Govinda Das lost himself in ecstasy of love. So that part was also revealed by Sri Krishna out of his mercy with his friend. It is said sometimes Govinda Das would sing with so much love, crying, that the whole temple, crowded with people there, everyone felt, yes, the Lord is present. And only Govinda Das, his guru, some other close disciples, they would perceive it, how that Nathji, the deity form of Sri Krishna, would actually move his body exactly to the music, to the singing of Govinda Das. What intimacy, what love between them. But of course, there were funny incidents as well. Many more. Now, one Leela is described in the Bhaktamala that is very sweet because Krishna could not stay without his friend and he wanted to play with him every day. So he ran from the temple, being that deity form, he ran to Govinda Das into nature just to play with him. Hide and seek, different games. Now, this is described in Bhaktamala. Once, while Sri Govinda Swami was playing with Srinathji, the Lord was defeated, but he entered the temple without paying in that in that game. So he had to do something in the game still, but he just ran into the temple, back into the temple. Sri Govinda chased him, and then when he saw Srinathji standing in the deity room, he angrily threw balls at him, the balls that were used in the play, and he kind of chastised him. What are you doing always when it's really important in the game? You just run away. I'm fed up with all of this. Come back. We have to finish this. You have to imagine shouting at the Lord. Now, the pujari, the priest engaged in temple service, he saw this and he considered it an offense. And so he pushed Sri Govinda Das out of the temple because he could not comprehend the mood of friendship between Govinda Das and the Supreme Lord. And after being driven out of the temple by the priest, Sri Govinda Das, he just sat down thinking that his friend would certainly come out of the temple and pass by on this road where he was sitting while going to the forest to play at some time. So he sat down and he said, he will come back here because I know he loves to play. I'm so annoyed. Again, he ran away at that moment when it was really needed for him to stay. So I will wait here. And meanwhile, Sri Lalaji, so Sri Krishna, began thinking about how the day will pass. So you have to imagine this. Krishna was thinking, unless I play with my friend again, the matter will not be resolved. And he is sitting so firmly on the way to the forest. How can I please him? Now, while Krishna was in the temple, distressed like that, because he had a problem with his friend, and Sri Krishna is Param Brahma, Param Dhamma. How Arjuna prays to him in Bhagavad Gita. You are the supreme. You are the supreme refuge for everyone. Now that Supreme Lord, he was distressed in the temple thinking, how will I resolve this with my friend? Now during that time, Krishna being so distressed, the priest and others, they brought offerings of food and set them in front of the Lord. And the Lord did not accept these offerings. Now, Goswami Ji, the Guru, he asked, because he also felt this, he also had this relationship with the Lord. Oh Lord, why are you not accepting the offering of foodstuffs today? What happened? Did we do something wrong? And the Lord, Sri Krishna, replied, I'm not at all happy with any of these offerings. They don't do me any good. I'm really in trouble. If you want to feed me, then first you have to help me to satisfy my friend Govinda. Actually, I had to pay him when in the game because something happened, and then I just ran away without paying. And that is why he threw the balls at me. He came into the temple, and the pujari, the priest, he was not aware of this, so he pushed Govinda out of the temple, considering him to be an offender. But you have to go quickly, quickly. You have to pacify him because otherwise I cannot eat. I cannot relax here. Now, when the head priest requested the Lord to go and play in the temple courtyard instead of playing in the forest, the Lord said, I don't want to. I'm so happy there in the forest. I only like to play with Govinda, with my friend. Imagine this. Imagine this. But now my friend is sitting by the side of the road and speaking ill of me in an angry mood. And if I come out of the temple, he will beat me. I'm so anxious that my entire body is trembling. If you can find him and bring him to me after pacifying him, only then will I feel relief. And whatever food you offer, I cannot accept it now. Only when my friend's anger is pacified, only then will I feel happy again, and then I will take your offerings, I promise. Now, the priest went and he said sorry to Govinda, to Govinda Das, and brought him back. And the two friends, they found their peace on that day. Jai Ho, Jai Ho. Now, on another day, another funny story between the two friends was that Krishna, he loved to to sit on the back of Govinda Das, because Krishna is a small boy and Govinda Das is an adult, a grown-up man. So he loved to sit on the back of Govinda Das walking on his hands and knees, so like imitating a horse. Krishna loved that, so they played this regularly. And at one day, when Krishna was sitting on the back of Govinda Das, kind of, yes, go, 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 run, run, run. There we have to catch him. So many different games they were playing, and Govinda Das was in such bliss. Oh, that touch of the Lord on my back, there is nothing beyond that. But at some point, he could not concentrate. He could not hold it back any longer. He said to Krishna, you have to imagine this, to the Lord, I have to pee. I cannot hold it anymore. Please let me go. And Krishna, sitting on his back, he said, what do you mean, let me go? You're my horse. Did you ever see a horse leaving for peeing? I'm your master. I'm sitting here. I'm having such a nice time. No, please, I mean, yes, this is funny, I know, but now please let me go to that. You see that tree over there? Yes, let me go there, and I will just stand properly, and I will just pee, and then I will wash myself, I will wash my hands, and I will come back, and we can continue this. What are you talking about? Standing up, going away? You have to pee, pee. He had no other choice because Krishna kind of forced him, so he peed with Sri Krishna on his back. And this was seen by devotees. And although Govinda Das took a shower after that play with the Lord and changed his clothes, these devotees, they went to the Guru and told him. And the Guru just told him, just stop it. You have no idea. You have no idea about my disciple Govinda Das. Jai Ho. Sometimes Govinda Das just wanted to have some peace, and he would go into little caves of Govardhan to sing, to meditate, to chant the divine name. And Krishna would come there to bring him food personally. And quite some time he did not realize who that boy was, because Krishna dressed himself up not to be. Just think about it. What a friendship they had. The Lord coming to bring food to his devotee, and the Lord disguising himself from a devotee who has actually realized him in his own heart. So then at some point he revealed that he was Sri Krishna, and Govinda Das was just overwhelmed with more devotion, with more love. Jai Sri Krishna. Sometimes they would just walk through nature together, holding hands, telling each other stories, enjoying their time together. On one such occasion, they heard how in the temple the last offering of the day was being performed, the last food for the Lord being given in Arati at night. And Govinda Das, he ran to the temple and he came inside after the ceremony was over already. And he told the priest, please offer it again. The Lord was not present, he was with me. We were wandering through the fields. Jai Sri Krishna. Once, when the Guru went in the morning to the temple, he saw that the dress of the Lord was torn and there were some leaves all around. So he asked, "Oh Krishna, what happened? What happened to your cloth? Why all these leaves?" And in that moment, Govinda Das arrived and he said, "Did you not see him? Don't you know the playful mood of that boy? He was sitting in the tree the whole night playing on his flute. Now, when he saw you coming, he just jumped down and his dress got torn. And then he ran to the temple to be there on time." Just imagine this. The Lord sitting in the tree, playing on his flute the whole night, and Govinda Das saw him that way. Or probably they were even together. It is said even Akbar, a great emperor of that time, came there to kind of be a witness to this phenomenon. He wanted to listen to Govinda Das because he had heard of his divine state, of his poetry. It is said when Govinda Das sang on that day and Akbar, the emperor, was listening, Govinda Das turned around and he said, "That raga that I sang today, I will never sing it again because it became impure by your worldly state listening to it. You were thinking of this world, of your position, but here we serve the true emperor." Jai Shri Bhagavan. Now we will close with another very sweet Leela. The saints tell us there was a sweeper, a servant who was sweeping at Govardhan around the temple, in the surroundings of that temple. And because people treated him as being so low, they did not allow him to go into the temple of the Lord, Sri Krishna. But he was serving there. And he did that service of sweeping only for Sri Krishna. Every day he would ask the people who would go to the temple, "How does my Lord look like today? Please tell me." And in his heart he would nourish the greatest desire to just have the vision of the Lord, to be with him. And he felt himself so unworthy. He prayed, "Oh Lord, I know I am not allowed into your presence, and I know why. I see my heart, I see my mistakes, I see my shortcomings, but please, in my next life, let me see you only once, only once." Now Krishna, he heard these prayers, and one day he sat on Govardhan while the sweeper was sweeping, and he called him, "Hey, hey, come and help me. Hey, you, I need your help. Hey, ah." Now the sweeper, he looked up and he saw a boy so attractive, like he had never seen any boy before. And that day also he had asked people, "How does the Lord look? How does his turban look like? What kind of a garland does he wear today? How is his dress?" And they described it to him. And as he saw that boy, he had the same, exact same characteristics, the same turban that same day, the same garland, the same dress. So he thought, "Is that Krishna? Can it be?" So he came closer to that boy who was sitting there calling him. And while coming closer, he just started crying because he realized that this was indeed the Lord. And he fell at his feet and he just cried, how could you come to me? How could you call me like that? And Krishna said, "Stop like that. I need your help. Come closer, come closer." "What is it? What do you need?" "Look, I have a thorn in my hand and it really hurts when I want to play my flute. So please help me." And he kind of almost fainted, seeing the hand of Krishna, the smell of Sri Krishna's hand emanating. Such a divine smell. So he kind of tried to come closer to the hand and he cried and cried and cried, and the tears just kept on rolling. Krishna said, "Do it, do it. I need your help. What are you doing?" Now then he saw the thorn and he tried with his hand to bring it out, but he couldn't. And Krishna said, "Well, you cannot do it with your hand, then just do it with your mouth. Please, it hurts me." So that Lord who is Satchit Ananda, eternal being and knowledge and bliss, he said, "I'm hurting." So he came close with his mouth and he just became so intoxicated and so ecstatic with his whole face kind of being in the hand of Krishna. And Krishna said, "Now let's go to a friend. I have ordered him and he has cooked nice food for us." So he kind of sat somewhat on the back, sometimes on the shoulders, almost on the head of that sweeper. And you have to imagine the touch of the Lord embracing that sweeper from behind, holding him, and the sweeper just running to the place that Krishna was kind of telling him to go to. And there they saw Govinda Das very heavily working, preparing food for Sri Krishna. Because Krishna had told him that day, "I want a very special food today, a food that simple people like." And Govinda Das had said, "Why? You get such amazing food in the temple." "No, I want this today. Something that simple people really like." So that day he came with that simple sweeper, that servant. And Krishna ran from a little distance to Govinda Das and he took what he had prepared, something like little balls made out of lentils, and he ran back to the sweeper and gave it to him and fed him with his hands. And Govinda Das, he just kept on serving the Lord, but he came running and again back and running and back, bringing more food to his beloved sweeper servant. And at some point, Govinda Das realized, wait, what is going on here? What is going on here? This is not proper. And then he saw Krishna feeding that sweeper who was treated by everyone in that way, like he was untouchable. So Govinda Das took Krishna and said, "Now you come with me, you little boy. You are impure now." The Lord, who is the purifier of all pure things, Govinda Das said to him, "You have become impure. Come with me." So he took him and escorted him to a place to again become pure at the riverside. So he said, "Now you do Ajman, purify yourself in the Vedic way, purify your body." And while Krishna was standing there, like reluctantly, kind of putting that water on his body, Govinda Das just pushed him into the river and he started laughing. "Next time when you bring your friend, you can cook for him yourself." Oh, Govinda Das. Oh, Govinda Das. So all these pastimes, may they fill our imagination with new pictures of friendship, of intimate friendship, of close connection with the Lord, and inspire us. O Govinda Das, O Gosain Vitalnath Ji, we offer this little recollection, this little remembrance of your Leelas with Sri Krishna. at the feet of the Lord, who is all merciful, all loving, who wants to be close to us all the time, who wants to heal us with his presence, with his unconditional presence and love. Fill all the holes within us, integrate everything that was pushed aside in our past because we could not handle it, because we felt so unloved. The Lord wants to enter all those places. He's ever near. So we bow down to him, offering this story time, this storytelling, this Harikatha at his feet. Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Om Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Please accept this, O Lord. Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe.